This is one-on-one session with the Forum IAS founder and director Ayush Sinha. In this session, students are asked questions to test their preparedness for the personality test. One-on-one sessions are not mock panel sessions.
Rajkumar, can you briefly introduce yourself to me?
Sir. My name is Rajkumar Meena and I belong to Dosa district of Rajasthan. Though I have been to various places like Hapur in Uttar Pradesh, Jaipur, then Dosa, and also in Banaras in order to pursue my education for various purposes. And I have done my graduation in Electronics Engineering in 2018. Thereafter, I decided to prepare for Civil Service Examination. And through Civil Services Exam 2020, I became a part of Indian Defence Estate Services, and currently I am undergoing training for the same.
Rajkumar, what is the current defense budget of India?
So it is nearly 2.5% of the GDP, that is equivalent to nearly 11,000. It's 11 lakh crores.
Right, Rajkumar, so can you tell me what are some steps that have been taken by the government to make ourselves Atmanirbhar and reduce import dependency in defense sector?
Yes. So recently in 2020, government came up with the defense acquisition procedure 2020, under which the government aims to make the defense sector Atmanirbhar. Some of the provisions for the same are, so number one is that it has prepared a list of certain defense equipments which government will be procuring from the indigenous manufacturers. So nearly 200 items have been included for the same. Apart from that, sir, in order to expedite the procurement and to minimize the cost, so we have came up with a provision of leasing the defense equipments. Apart from that, sir, there are provisions for indigenizing and upgrading the research and development in defense sector. For that purpose, so there is policy called as Indian Defense Excellence Initiative, and also, sir, Raksha Gyan. Sir, Raksha Gyan Sangam. So they aim to maximize the patent that can be registered for the defense purpose. And apart from that, the government is also coming up with the defense corridors. Chiefly, they have been in two states at present time. One is in Uttar Pradesh and another one is in Tamil Nadu.
All right. So Rajkumar, can you tell me what is suddenly there is a push for indigenization of defense sector? What is the need? What is the possible challenges that the government is facing that it feels that we must indigenize our weaponry and defense?
So, given the recent time, the Indian defense sector or India as a nation is facing security-related challenges, and for that purpose, we need to indigenize our defense sector. For example, in the recent Russia-Ukraine war, so we have realized that due to the utmost dependency on Russia for our defense equipments, so we cannot go against our partners like Russia. Apart from that, sir, COVID time have also taught us that we cannot be dependent on foreign countries for our various needs and also for the defense sectors, because once the supply chain gets choked, so it can be detrimental for our security. Apart from that, sir, we are facing national security threats on two fronts. One is on the western, one is on the from our western neighbor, that is Pakistan, and one also from another neighbor of China. And for that purpose, defense sector is something in which we need to indigenize ourselves.
So we have challenges on twin side, but that is not a very strong reason for indigenization. But we have challenges on both sides. So what point are you trying to make with respect to indigenization?
Sir, due to the huge security threat, we need to have our own inbuilt defense management. For example, in the case of Kargil war, so we were dependent on foreign countries like US to get intelligence information. If we were if we would have been indigenized ourselves at that time, sir, we could have tackled the battle in a more efficient way. So in this regard, indigenization is important.
So summing it up, Rajkumar, just tell me in one line, what is the biggest concern why we must go for indigenization? Just in one or two lines.
Sir, given the changing geostrategic scenario, India must be able to tackle the threat on its own and do not depend on the other countries. Sir, for that purpose, indigenization is necessary.
So with respect to indigenization, it is very clear that the government cannot manufacture or even do the R&D on all the weaponry. All right. Um, so therefore, it's envisaged that the private sector will also play a role here. What are the concerns with bringing in private sector in defense equipments and weapons?
Sir, although the involvement of private sector is necessary, but at the same time, there will be certain cautiousness that has to be maintained. For example, the defense sector will involve such sensitive information and technologies. If they are under the hands of private sector, they can be used against our own interest, and for that purpose, sir, there are concerns. Apart from that, sir, sir, if we get dependent, too much dependent on the private sector, then in that case there can be interest of foreign countries. For example, in case of FDI or FII, if some foreign country is investing and we are too much dependent on that company, so in that case, sir, our national security interest can get hampered.
Also, there is one more concern that is raised by almost all public bodies such as CAG and even otherwise. Given the history of India's defense sector, there is one more concern when we are giving private contracts in defense, given that the size of contracts are also very big and they have so what is that one last concern?
The concern, so it is largely a concern of corruption, because it involves a huge sum of money. And for example, there were issues raised regarding procurement of Bofor guns in 1980s, and even in the Rafale deal. So there are concerns related to the cost of procurement and the cost of price of deals. And for that purpose, the corruption is something which needs to be about which we need to be cautious.
So your extracurricular hobbies and activities include journal writing.
Yes, sir.
Rajkumar, when did you start writing journals?
So it was nearly when I was in third year of my college, I started writing journals.
Right. What was the trigger point for it?
Sir, during third year of my college, I met with an accident, and so at that point of time, sir, I thought that sir, I must do something. I must develop some hobbies which I can do, sir, just sitting on the bed, or sir, how can I? Sir, at that point of time, I was undergoing some, sir, you can say mental health issues, because I could not sir, I could not do physical activities at that time, and for that, so that was a triggering moment, so when I started journaling.
How has it helped you as a person, journaling?
So I do journal writing in two ways. One is the daily journaling, and another one is reflective journaling. So in daily journaling, what I do is I write the agendas in the start of the day, and I keep a check whether I have done that, completed them or not in the end of the day. So in that purpose, I believe that they increase my efficiency as a human, and also arrange my task on a daily event in an organized way. Apart from that, through reflective writing, I try to improve upon myself, and I try to learn from my mistakes, as well as try to repeat the good things that I do. These are certain things I believe that journal writing has helped me.
Rajkumar, you have stayed in Varanasi for quite some time.
Yes, sir. For the purpose of my graduation, I was there in Varanasi.
Can you tell me a few things about Varanasi that make it very famous?
Yes, sir. So according to me, Varanasi is a blend of ancient India as well as modern India. So in terms of ancient India, it is a place where so it can be said to be the adobe of religion. For example, so it is one of the holiest cities for say, Hindu religion. Apart from that, it was the place where Buddha gave his first sermon, and the event of Mahachakra Parivartana happened. And apart from that, sir, it is a place where sir, many Jain Tirthankars like Shreyanshnath sir, had their birth. And apart from that, it is a place where Ganga sir, flows. And also, sir, in terms of modern India, sir, it is a place of sir, BHU, which is the largest residential university in Asia. Apart from that, it is politically very important as well because it is currently the constituency of our honorable Prime Minister as well. So in these regards, so Varanasi is a very important city in India.
Rajkumar, so you are already in one of the good allied services where you are getting to serve the nation. So why are you so dissatisfied in this service that you want to go for writing another attempt and going for IAS?
Sir, I am very much satisfied with the current service. I in this small period of nearly 2 months, I have learned a lot. So it is just that, sir, I want to maximize my efficiency as much as possible, and I want to explore myself as much as possible. So for that purpose, I believe that these services which I have filled will be giving more exposure to me. So I will get more opportunities as a person. And apart from that, diversity of challenges which is there in other services, the aforementioned services is greater, and that is why I'm opting for them. But even if I stay in this service only, then I will be really happy to serve the nation as well.
All right, Rajkumar, your interview is over.
Thank you, sir.